welcome everybody to another hands-on. I am having, well actually no, let's do the intros first. I'm Christian Schiller. Welcome to my hands-on live stream where every week at different times, it's moving a bit all over the place right now. I get my these hands on this keyboard. Oof. Hey, something just fell out then. A bit strange. And I look at a developer-focused project. Now, you can find out more about me at christianschiller.com. If you enjoy what you see, please subscribe, please leave a thumbs up, please leave a comment. I've been getting a lot more comments from people recently, always nice to see. If you're joining in chat, say hello. Always nice to hear from you too. I'm having some weird technical issues that I don't entirely understand. I'm sure restarting my computer would solve them, but I don't really want to. I don't know if it's coming through on the stream or not, or if it's just me, but I've been having this weird like audio visual jerkiness all day pretty much, and I cannot fathom what it is. So this could be fun. Fortunately, my lovely face will just reduce to a small thumbnail soon, and hopefully it doesn't apply to a screen share. We will see. All right, what is the project today? It is Backstage. Backstage. Oof, there we go. I just saw a bit of lag there. I don't know if you're seeing it on the stream or not. You can let me know. I'll actually turn off a few other things just to optimize as much as possible. There we go. Okay. So Backstage is something I've been looking forward to for quite some time, actually. You can find more at backstage.io. And it's, what is it? What is Backstage? I think I will read you what they say, but to be honest with you, it's many things. It's an open platform for building developer portals. What does that mean? It can mean many things, and that's kind of the point of Backstage. The page description says, powered by a centralized software catalog, Backstage restores order. It's a big promise there to your infrastructure and enables your product teams to ship high quality code quickly without compromising autonomy. But it actually kind of does a lot more than that. There's a whole app ecosystem. There's a whole plugin ecosystem. There's a lot of extra things you can do too. So I don't really know how far I'm going to get in this stream in exploring it. I mean, it's a pretty big application, or not even an application, I guess, a project, I suppose we could call it. So I'll see how far I get. So I'll just move a few things out the way, tidy up my screen a bit. Okay. So let's begin with the web page. So screen share, there we go. There it is. It comes out of Spotify engineering, first and foremost, but has been quite popular. I also lurk in the Discord channel, and there's a lot of going on there, and it's been very popular. I have done a little bit of work for kind of a competitor, although Backstage is open source, so not really, that does similar-ish things, or certain parts of it anyway. So I'm also interested in digging in to see how that works. One of the other areas where I've heard it talked about a lot as well is with documenting microservices. I do a lot of tech writing and documentation work, and a lot of people have mentioned it as a place to kind of document all these different services you have and things. So I'm actually going to go down that path a little bit as well. There's a plugin I found that I would also like to look into. So where do we begin, I suppose? There's a lot to find here on the web page. A lot of kind of, I don't know, a lot of things to read. I don't know if any of it's going to help us here. Let's have a look. Speed, standards. Okay, I think that makes a sort of a sense. Build an ecosystem. It's kind of an application catalog for your teams, I guess. Sorry, just 1 second. Just getting a little bit of allergies there. Manage all your software in one place, a uniform overview, metadata on tap, not just services. And this is where things get interesting. Libraries, websites, ML models, documentation. And it promises to mean that people no longer miss things because they know where to look. And this is actually something that I've been asked with the current company I work for to look into as well. Is it somewhere we could put internal documentation, for example, instead of it being on Google Docs and GitHub and myriad other places? So, where do we begin? I think this is kind of where I'm wondering where to start. Docs like code. Oh, here we go. Backstage techdocs. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Where do we begin? Learn more about techdocs. No. Learn more about plugins. Or where do I actually just begin? I'm not sure. It says, where was it? Learn more about the software catalog. I guess that's where I begin. I'm not sure. I suppose that is the beginning. I might just jump straight into the docs themselves and see where we go from there. What is Backstage? I think we kind of covered that a little bit. It's a CNCF sandbox project. Just realized something I always forget to enable. I think this will be crucial in this particular case, is my little plugin up here. Let's just toggle that. Oh boy, I'm getting really weird judder here. Okay, there we go. So it's a CNCF sandbox project, and it's actually pretty new. Well, as an open source project, so that's quite incredible. Okay, architecture overview. I felt like when I was preparing for this, I found that this was useful to understand. It's constructed of 3 parts. The core, okay, makes sense. The app, I guess that's the bit you interact with the most, and then plugins, that makes sense. And then there's the core UI, the UI plugins, and their backing. The UI plugin, slightly confusing, but I think that makes sense. I like this graphic. The UI is a thin client-side wrapper around a set of plugins. So, yep, that sort of makes sense as well. You have a variety of different bits that supply UI components, which is something that has been increasingly popular in certain places. I know Zalando have also done a lot of kind of open source projects around this too. Okay, yep, and we can see they basically end up provided at the URL that's relevant to that plugin, I guess. Okay, and they're React. That makes sense then. Okay. So I think that's enough. Let's. You don't really want to watch me browsing web pages. Let's dive in. I'm just going to check one thing. I've had this. Damn it! Damn you, Mac! Would you do that sometimes? That's very annoying. I wanted to check something on Twitter. I won't do that again. Okay. All right. Let's just worry about that later. Getting started. 2 different ways. Creating a standalone app. What does that mean? Makes it simpler to customize the application for your needs and stay up to date with the project. You will depend on Backstage packages from NPM, making it a much smaller recommended approach. I think we'll just do that then. It seems to make sense. Backstage provides the Backstage Create App package, right? That is fairly standard in this ecosystem to scaffold standalone instances of Backstage. You need to have, okay, you also need Docker. All right, I do have Docker installed, but let's fire it up in the background. All right, let's do it. I have my terminal here. Oops, Docker, just took on the way there. Okay, like a naughty, petulant child, Docker. Okay, here we go. Whilst that is possibly taking some time, I will, oops, here we go, maybe not. Check if the tweet that I auto-generated worked this time. Let's see. Because it keeps failing. Did it work this time? Whilst that's doing its thing. Yeah, it failed again. All right, okay, I'll fix that another time. Behind the scenes here. I was getting a lot of people watching on Periscope, which is fine, but you can't do much with Periscope afterwards, and I was trying to tweet out a link to Twitch instead. Yeah, that failed again. Problem with Twitter is there's character limits. And now this seems to be doing absolutely nothing, which is concerning. I've bizarrely had strange issues with NPM packages when I use the wired network where I am, which is super weird. But this is doing nothing at all, which is concerning. I don't know if it's waiting for Docker. I don't know. Ah, there we go. Something's happening. All right, good. Excellent. It's not very fast, but something's happening. In the meantime, I may look into some other things whilst we're waiting for that to do its thing. So let's just park that down there for now. Shrink that down a bit so I can keep an eye on it. Contributing to Backstage, not yet. Maybe later. Okay. So that's basically all we need to know there, I think. You can read more about this process in Create an App. So let's see what's going on behind the scenes whilst that's doing its thing. Okay. We did that. We did that. This is all going to happen soon, I hope. And there's a folder structure. The app, there's a lot going on here. If you ever see a learner, this generally, or whatever it's called, however it's pronounced, it generally implies it's a fairly big project, which seems reasonable. Config, catalog info, your workspaces basically, yeah. We just split the JavaScript project into multiple projects pretty much. Packages, the front-end app, packages for the back-end, and then a bunch of warnings. I like this one especially because this is something that I have noticed a lot, especially with JavaScript projects, where you get dependencies on other languages that you don't expect, specifically Python, actually, strangely. So it's good to see that they actually mention that there. And then when it's done, we can run it, but we're not quite there yet. It's getting there by the look of it. Hopefully not too long. So the other plugin I want to have a look at in a minute, which may or may not be relevant. What was it now? I was hoping it would be in my autocomplete. Maybe not. Hang on. I know where I can find it. Let me just... oh, hang on. I just noticed in the meantime. This has come together. What should we call it? Let's call it hands-on. Very original. Select a database. Yeah, we'll go for SQLite for now, I think. Excellent. Failed. Oh, okay. Ah, right. There was something about this. Could not execute command yarn install. Install yarn in a system. Pretty sure I have yarn. Ah, I think we're getting engine node is incompatible. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's always the fun with JavaScript. I think I was reading that, but I think I skimmed over it, assuming that just the latest version would be okay. You will need to have active, so not minimum. You need to have that specific version, which is always a pain when that's the case. I do not, I know I should, but I do not have, what's it called? I do not have NVM, or whatever it's called, installed. All right, this is a pain. This is going to take a minute. Actually, no, I do have. I can do this. It's going to get messy. Let's just uninstall and reinstall. It doesn't mean we're going to have to kill a bit more time watching npm commands, but let's. All right, I'll regret this later, but let's just do it for now. Okay, and as you can see, I have been. This is not my first rodeo with needing a specific version of Node. I know there are better ways to do this, but it's the way I'm going to do for now. And hopefully that doesn't take too long. Let me find that plugin in a second. Let's just in case we get mega scroll again. When I try to go to a different window, I'll just flip back to me and just quickly find that plugin I want to play with specifically. That's the one. And I'm back. So it's this plugin, a specific one. That's a documentation related one. We may not need it. mkdocs specifically as well. mkdocs monorepo plugin. This may prove problematic because I'd have to have some mkdocs stuff. But okay, right. Yes, we do. So I just need to do this first. Source. There we go. NOS? What is NOS? Good. All right, let's begin again. Where were we? I'm actually wondering if I should do a clear out. Seems to be much... Yeah, I got a feeling we should do a clear out. That was way too quick. What was it even being called? Hands on, there we go. Cool. All right, that's again going to take a little while, unfortunately. Oh, seems to be a bit quicker this time. That's good. Oh, there we go. That's strange. That was much quicker. Yes, fingers crossed this time. Hasn't failed quite so quickly, so I guess that's good. I like the fact it moved us to the folder without having to do that. That's usually, although maybe not, because there's a command down here that says to do that, so I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, I don't know how long that's going to take. What else could we look at in the meantime? I think this is the problem I'm going to have with this. What to do next? What do we do after we've installed? There's so much we can do. What do we do? I think I will probably play around with the documentation to a certain aspect. So that would be, let's open that up actually, the techdocs. Where is it? Somewhere down here. Yeah, docs like code. Let's open it up. Learn more about techdocs. There we go. Let's open that up and see what might be needed in a minute there, because this yarn install seems to be taking a little bit of time. techdocs is Spotify's homegrown docs-like code solution built directly into Backstage. This means engineers write the documentation in Markdown. Okay. So it is. So this is using that plugin. So it's using more specifically mkdocs, I guess, which is good. They haven't built their own static site generator, which many people seem to be tempted to do. So that's good. I mean, this is quite impressive, bringing 2,500 documentation sites. That almost seems like too many in my mind, but anyway. And yeah, it's using mkdocs, which I quite like. That is Python, actually. Platform supported. File storage. This isn't really telling me a great deal. Not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with it. It's not really telling me. Maybe that's getting started. That's it. The overview section. It's being too helpful to me. All right. Hopefully, it may already be present. Okay, good. Just still waiting for this. I don't know why it's taking a while. I don't think anything's happening with Docker. No. Just taking a while. This would have been a good opportunity to do verbose, maybe, to see what's happening. Well, Node is using a lot of CPU, so I guess it's doing something pretty intense. Well, let's see what we can do next after we have run. So the yarn dev command runs both the front end and the back end as two different processes. That is good. I often find that with a lot of these sorts of applications, you have to always have two different tabs. So that's quite nice. Now you're free to hack away. I like that. I don't really know how to yet, but that's nice. And then you can run them differently in separate processes if you want to. Okay, I think this is more about development. Okay, reinstalling packages. Okay, great. Running Backstage locally. I mean, I think that's sort of what we know already. Oh, so this is developing again. Not quite what we're interested in. Keeping Backstage updated, also not really what we're interested in. So I guess I'm still at this point of like, what do I do next? I've got something running now. What do I do? I've created an app. Yes. Okay, we've got to the next stage in the background here. I start it, and then what? That's where I'm a bit confused. What do I do now? Maybe the web app will tell me. Not sure. Oh, here we go. I think we are finally here. Good. So let's... here we go. It is telling me what to do, so that's good. Let's actually open those up. I probably won't add authentication for this, but that is obviously a very good thing to do. Let's just stay where we are for here for now. Okay. Excellent. Uh-oh. Oh, all sorts of things are happening. Hang on. Let's just close that for a second. I saw some errors I just wanted to look at. A warning, fatal, not a Git repository. Okay, that's reasonable. Nothing told me to make a Git repository or any of the parent directories. Okay, failed to read a Git commit, not a Git repository. Okay, that's fine. Nothing actually told me I needed to have a Git repository, so I guess it's working though. Let's see. It's interesting it also opened in Brave by default, which is interesting. I didn't actually, maybe I set something in the past to do so. Okay, so how's that looking? That's looking good, good. So this is, I guess, some demo applications, or whatever they're called. What are they called? Catalog has a concept of processes to perform catalog ingestion tasks, such as reading raw entity data from a remote source, parsing it, transforming it, and validating it. I don't really know what that means. Let's go to the overview, maybe. The Backstage software catalog is a centralized system that keeps track of ownership and metadata for all the software in your ecosystem. Yep. Built around the concept of metadata YAML files stored together with the code. Okay, good. That makes sense. Getting started is available to browse here. Okay. Adding components. That is probably what we want to do. I think probably make more sense to be directed to this page as opposed to the other page then. I think feels maybe better to me. Source of truth for the components in your software catalog are metadata YAML files stored in source control. Okay. This is going to be where it's interesting. I guess we need to have some kind of example application. 3 ways to add components. Manually, create new components through Backstage, integrating with an external source. Manually. So this is an example. So this is the artist lookup component, though, which we've already got here. But more examples. Let's look at some examples that are not there, maybe, just to see how this works. Is it in, where are we looking? In components? In the YAML files? Components, I guess. Okay. What is here that isn't here? Pet store. I don't see pet store. Let's do pet store. Maybe let's have a quick look at this file. So yeah, this is a bunch of metadata as expected, pulling in a GitHub repo from Swagger API's pet store. That makes sense. We have ownership and it provides APIs. Okay, great. So I guess we need the raw file, I would expect. Let's have a look out of interest. If you can't tell, I have an office window by a train station, and sometimes the trains are very loud. There's one doing quite loud right now. This looks... Oof. I need to get some noise reduction on this mic sometimes. So this looks quite different from the other one. but it doesn't seem to need the raw file. So let's just go right ahead and take this file, I guess. Maybe it's smart enough to figure that out. Where was it? Yes. So let's go to, by going to /create and clicking register existing component, or I think this is different, I guess. Or I could also go here. No, here. Okay. Whoa, okay, it doesn't like being shrunk. Register existing component. Ooh, we'll come back here in a minute. Register an existing component. If we go to the YAML. This is actually saying repository URL though. So that is also something I would possibly look to update. Although the description is there, but yeah. Oh, I see. So you can link to an existing entity file or to a repository and it discovers these info files. So this is an interesting step that is not explicitly mentioned in the documentation, that you in theory need to architect your repositories and projects first, which is not strictly mentioned, I don't think, unless I have missed that. There we go. Analyze. Following entities will be added. 2 entities, a component called PetStell and a location generated. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, let's have a look. Important to note that any kind of software can be registered in Backstage, even if your software is not maintained by your company. Interesting. Software templates. All right, let's come back to that later. So obviously it's using a predefined YAML file. Okay, good. So now I suppose we can go back to our catalog and we should see, no, we don't. Interesting. It doesn't seem to be there. Maybe it's this ownership thing. Let's see. Yes. So let's have a look at that file. Why was that different? So ownership was set to team C. Yes, we can see those different teams here. So there's actually others that belong to team C as well. Okay, cool. And I'm assuming that's where the authentication, all that kind of stuff comes into play. All right. I'm just going to click randomly on a few things. I'm just interested to see what these kind of look like. So here we get, what do we get? View source, view the techdocs. We don't have any, so maybe we will fill that in a minute. View the API, that I like the sound of. What's it actually going to? If it actually gives, now I'll be very, very pleasantly surprised here maybe. Okay, maybe, let's see. Provided APIs. What I'm trying to get to the point is, no, I was wondering if we would get to a place. There we go, brilliant. Embedded Swagger, that's what I was looking for. That is great, I like that. I guess that's basically what pet store is. And we can view source. I don't know what the source is going to be. Is it, okay, but in this case, not quite sure what the viewing source of, but yeah. View the API, we did that already. Team C, so the GitHub repo would take us to the Swagger repo, yeah. And then we can look at the team here. We see who's a member of the team. We see what they own. And we see how to contact them as well, which I'm sure is very useful. I don't know. There's probably other ways. I don't know what this is. Groups. Okay. I was also interested, so I'm guessing this will, not sure. We can edit and we can add to our favorite, I guess. That takes us to that source, and this is making us sign in to do something. Not entirely sure what. Let's see. I'm guessing to edit the file. Ugh. We'll leave that for now. All right, so that's good. Let's add some docs then, maybe. It's interesting when you can't edit it in the YAML in here, though, which is fine, I suppose. I mean, that would involve having to kind of push changes to Git and all sorts of things, so I guess that's reasonable. Finding software, we get that. Starring software, integrating tooling during plugins. All right, let's come back to that. I'm going to jump into the doc stuff because that's what interests me. Yes, here we go, techdocs. If you used techdocs may already be present, I think it is. You should skip to the setting, the configuration, okay? See, okay, should techdocs backend generate docs? Okay, great. But where do I add that? I don't know. I think I need to, first and foremost, okay, let's just open it up in, oh, hang on. So we don't have another macOS jump screen of doom. Let's just open that there. Okay. Ah, no. What did I do that for? Ah, what is going on? Eek. All right. I does knows what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah, something is really slowing my computer down. I do apologize. Okay, so app config maybe, I guess. Don't know. I'm not really sure where to add it. Seems reasonable. Yes, but it's already enabled. So okay. Okay, good. So now what? Note that we recommend generating docs on CI/CD instead. Okay, that is reasonable. Yeah. If you want to get started quickly, set it to local. Yep, makes sense. Okay. Choosing storage to publisher. Yeah, we'll do it local for now as well. That's also there. Yep. Generators Docker. That makes sense. So we'll use Docker so we don't have to have everything installed locally. That makes perfect sense. Setting it to local means you have to make sure your environment is compatible. Yep, makes sense. You have to install MK. Yep, that's MKdocs. That's fine. Running Backstage locally. That's fine. But what I was trying to understand is how do I do docs? I don't that's getting started. Concepts. Okay. I think it means I need to have docs there, which is the problem because, of course, well, maybe it is relatively, yeah, I'm sort of a little bit lost of what I need to do. Do I just have markdown files? Like, what do I do? Getting started. Okay, we saw all that. Okay. Yes. Yes. But how? What docs do I need? What docs am I doing? See all your documentation sites. Okay. I mean, I don't anticipate there being any right now, but let's see. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, that's where I already am. Okay, well, I got an idea. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the pet store. I'm going to make a fork of it. Oh dear, I'm going to have to fork all sorts of things. This is where sometimes that's interesting. Okay. Is that, I'm guessing that, oh, this is where unfortunately, because everything is using files elsewhere. I think we can make a fork here, work with that. So this one, I guess, in the metadata. Yes, okay, right, let's fork this. Let's get to somewhere maybe, just to see what happens. We've created a fork, yes, good, all right. What does that mean though? Description, okay, let's come back to that. Fix that. Is that correct? Now what does that mean? You need to add the annotation to your component. Now I did not see that mentioned anywhere either, as far as creating and publishing documentation. I guess this is where I actually needed to be. Use the documentation template, okay. All right, okay, yes. So you do need to have mkdocs configuration, etc., etc. I wonder if there's an example. Okay, well, let's just go with that then. I'll stop trying to do my own thing. There's a lot, you kind of need to do a lot of architecting before you go anywhere, I suppose. That's the summary so far. Your working Backstage instance should, by default, have a documentation template added. If not, well, it should. But create an entity from the documentation template, which I think is what we saw here. Yes. Okay. Choose, I guess. All right. I wonder if I can, no, okay, Backstage, here we go. Actually, I think I prefer Acme Corp. Okay. So I guess the host where the repository will be created, the organization, user, or project that it would belong to. Okay. Hopefully this is going to work. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not really sure what to expect here. Let's hope. I don't really know how this is going to work without, yeah, I haven't given a permission. So where do I do that? Where do I do that? That was not something mentioned anywhere. Maybe under settings. Let's see. Authentication providers, maybe? No. Feature flags? No. So maybe no. Where do I do that then? I don't know. So does it mention anything here? No token available? Yes. And repo Backstage demo. Okay. Configuration maybe? No. Plugins, no. Integrations, maybe. Yes. Okay. Okay. To use this integration, add configuration to your root app config.yaml. Okay. Let's do that. No, that's. Just want to check it's not there already. Basically, integrations. Okay, there's going to be. Maybe we should make this more precise. There we go. No, that's still not. There we go. So let's take that. I think I'll make this the last thing we attempt to do. I always knew there was going to be a lot we could do here. We were never going to be able to do all of it. Let's fix that. Okay. So how do I... Maybe you want to supply a token. Host token. If supplied. Sure. How... That's a plugin. Okay. Supply a token. Let's click that. Okay, it's a GitHub doc. Personal access token. Okay, makes sense. I will, as always, I'll get to the next bit in a second. So developer settings, developer settings. It doesn't say what permissions it needs. So I guess just want to get back to GitHub. Settings, developer settings, personal access tokens. Right, at this point, I will just switch back to my ugly mug. So you don't see me creating tokens. Generate new token. Okay. I will just select everything. No, actually, I get the impression there are only some I'm going to need. It would be good if it said which ones you need, but all right. I just realized that I'm just going to have to revoke this because I can't really go through the rest of the steps without showing you a code. I gave it fairly limited permissions, so come on. There we go. Do I need to? I guess I need to put it in quote marks. Oh, so this is GitHub Enterprise. All right, let's just get rid of that. Okay. So I guess that's everything. I hope. Oh, let's see. I don't know if I need to restart these things. I'm not sure. It's hard to know sometimes. Okay, let's go back a step. I've got to do it all again. Hands on. Hands on. Getting shorter each time. Backstage, the owner. Okay. Be nice to kind of be able to verify it first. Okay, let's see. No token available. Okay, maybe I do need to refresh. I don't know. Let's see. And I guess we have to start again. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's because it's not finished yet. Now that's interesting because... Oh, no, that's a different error. That was a different Git error, yeah. All right, let's try again. Create. Are we up and running yet? No. Maybe it's compiling. Oh, okay, something's happening. All right, let's try again. I would really like to get this working, but I am getting close to time as well. All right, Backstage. Here we go again. I mean, I would have hoped that if the token was working, it would pre-fill or something. I don't know. Let's see. Well, repository creation failed. The name already exists. Oh, of course. Well, that shows that it's actually working, though. That's good. because I just forked it. So of course it already exists. There we go. What am I doing? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay. This should work this time. Ooh. Da, da, da. Okay. Now what? Where were we? Okay, great. And I guess if I go to GitHub right now, I will see that repository. Have to find it. Yeah. Oh, it's private. Interesting. But that's all set up, and I'm hoping there's some demo stuff in there. So this should mean that now how do I actually we go to docs. No. Oh, okay. Do I need to restart? Okay, right. There's a whole other step now. Writing and previewing documentation. Using the techdocs CLI, you can preview your docs. Okay. So this is different, I think. Yeah. Okay. So why do we not see it? Maybe we need to restart again. I'm not sure. I see no reason not to try. And we'll call it a day. I wonder, I know we created the component, so it should be there, I would have thought. Close that. Okay, let's see. See if we get any log messages or anything. Not seeing anything that implies it's not going to work. Oop. What happened there? No. Still nothing. Maybe it's because I don't own it. That could be the problem. Yeah. Well, that's kind of... This hasn't changed either. I don't see that component. Maybe I still need to register it. I probably still need to register it, which is... Okay, that's reasonable, I guess. No. Register existing. I guess I assumed it would be there. Now I think I can just, in this case, do that. I think. Oh, I'm in a different browser. Ugh. Okay. Let's just take it into Safari instead. I definitely logged in there, so okay. Oh, I don't think it works in Safari. I think it's just because I used... No, it doesn't work in Safari. All right, that's fun. Let's get back. Then, I suppose. I really want to have a satisfactory conclusion here. Interesting that it just fails completely, though. Okay. I guess I will just have to... Let's log in separately. Probably better. Sure. Wow. I've obviously not signed in here for some time. I will have to do two-factor authentication. I don't think this matters. It's hard to know. Okay. Okay, let's get our repository. Brilliant. Register a component. Analyze. Log in. Maybe I need to refresh. I don't actually know. It should just pick it up, I would hope now. Oh, it's an auth. Oh, all right. Let's. I think then. Oh, because it's private. Let's just make it public. Yes, I think that's probably the problem. Let's just make it a public repository. Where is it? There we go. Make it public. I'll do the cheat down here. Okay, right. Hopefully, this time we don't need to. No, he still wants us to log in. Let's just do the file instead, and because it doesn't seem to. So catalog info file. Yeah. I mean, this should work. It worked in every other. Okay, interesting that was allowed, but so what's the problem? The name. Interesting. Funny that. Let me create that though. Sake of argument, let's just change that there. So is that it? Okay, let's try again. Good. 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 So, do we have some docs? Oh my God, we do. All right. I like the fact now, so I'm guessing this is probably happening. No, it's interesting. Where is that happening then? Maybe it's not Docker. I thought that was Docker. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Can I close that, please? Back to that. I wonder where that's happening. Let's see if we're getting anything here. Oh, I think it's JavaScript, maybe. Hey, check that out. That doesn't look quite right, but check that out. That looks a bit weird. Looks a bit weird. I'm not quite sure why. But it sort of works. It doesn't look quite right, but yeah. All right, I think that's time to wrap up there. Okay, so let's recap because we did quite a lot there. So, all right. So, what does Backstage offer? What does it promise to do? It promises, let's go back to the very first page. It promises to be an open platform for building developer portals. Yes, we got that. I would probably say it's probably more internal developer portals, maybe? I'm not sure. That's hard to say, really. I think there'd probably be a lot of theming work you need to do as well if you want to get it on brand, but that's reasonable as well. You can add components and kind of context around them and then links out to them. You can set ownership and things like that. You can change all sorts of metadata and you can add other components. We didn't look at websites or ML models or anything like that. We looked at documentation, a little bit fiddly, but we got there in the end. It has some templates. It has a lot of configuration that you need to do from a Backstage perspective, but also from your component perspective, which this is a lot of work involved, but not too much. And there is that those builders there to help you with templates, I guess. It's not impossible, but there's a bit to do. And it has a lot of other services as well. I think this is the thing. There's a lot you can do. So it promises to, I think it delivers what it promises, but what it promises is a lot. So it's kind of hard to really summarize, I suppose, because there's so much it can do and could do, and you have to kind of go and play and see if there's things you need there or not. Yeah. Would I use it? I think so. I almost kind of see an internal use case for myself of a way of kind of collecting lots of information about my own projects, I mean, even my own little small internal projects. Just because then there's one place to look for things. This is a problem you often have with projects in GitHub and things like that. You don't always know where to find things. I'm not sure if that's a valid use case or not, but I would give it a go anyway. So yeah, I think if you see a use case for this, which is sort of gathering lots of information on different software components together, mostly related, but not always, give it a try, I think. It's definitely pretty much, it's not the only option, but it's definitely the best and most popular option at the moment for this sort of thing. But there's a very particular use case there, so you may not have that use case. Yeah, so that was Backstage. I've been looking forward to playing it for quite some time. We didn't even get anywhere into the plugins. I mean, I might have a very quick recap of some of what's available. API docs, I think we saw that. Build tools like CI tools, licensing checks, GitHub Actions, open pull requests, usage of cloud services, GraphQL, Jira integration, PagerDuty, Rollbar integration. Yeah, there's a lot here. There's a lot you can do. Tech Radar, which is actually one I'm super interested. To-dos. Ooh, that's one I'm interested in. So yeah, and there's a lot you can do there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that hands-on. It was quite a complex one, quite a lot to do, and quite a lot we could have done. Hopefully it made a sort of a sense. And yeah, I think I'm going to be taking a break the next 2 weeks. I'm actually on holiday next 2 weeks. So I'm going to be taking a break for a couple of weeks, and I'll be back in a few weeks with something yet to be decided. If you enjoyed what you found, go to christianschiller.com, where you can find all my previous videos from all the streams I do, plus podcast information and writing information, things like that. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe wherever you watched, give me a thumbs up, say hi, leave a comment. Always good to know. I know many of you come back and visit the video at a later date. So yeah, would love to hear from you. And until next time, I do apologize if there was shudder on the stream. I don't know what's causing it. I need to go and restart my Mac.